Are we on?
I think so.
Today we have our live. We'll wait patiently and meditate for some time. Here we go. Emmy, great to see you. Darren, oh, we're pumping up now. We're pumping up Diane. It's superstar Diane. Kmar, this is awesome. Len, beautiful to see you.
Hey, Len.
Sammy, powerhouse Sammy. Joe, is superstar Joe. All right, we have liftoff. Welcome to the show here. We have our great friend here, Sam, aka the Thunder from Down Under. Hey, Alex, good to see you. And obviously, you know me. Tonight's call is a massive call. Hey, Kerry, great to see you. Claire, share the stream with your team. You want to get them on this now. What's going to happen tonight is going to be something very special. Hey, Alexi, this is the call to change it all. And I want to go into talking about, I know many of you have been in network marketing for some time, a long time. Some of you have been in it more recently. Some of you I have coached. Some of you who have come, hey Ian, some of you have come to my events. Some of you just follow me live on Facebook, and some of you also know Sam from also his journey. And we're going to crack straight into the magic. Get ready and bring your pen and paper, because things are about to get real. Mr. Sam, aka the Thunder from Down Under. We call him the Thunder from Down Under. Tell me, how did you get into network marketing?
Right, well, thanks for the introduction, Luke. I love the Thunder from Down Under. If anyone wants to refer to me as that from now on, that would be awesome. So thanks, Lukey. Okay, so how did I get into network marketing?
Yeah.
Cool, awesome. So back about 18 months to 2 years ago, I was actually a club manager for a large fitness chain here in Australia.
Yep.
And at the time, I actually loved the job, or at least I thought I loved the job. But we had a number of difficulties, the first of which was that we had our first child that was about to be born. And my lovely wife Jenny was having a few difficulties here and there. And another thing occurred to me as well, and that was that I was working so many hours in this club manager job that I was doing that I just knew that I wasn't able to support Jenny in the way that I wanted to support her through the pregnancy, and B, we were about to have a child, and I wanted to spend some time with my child. They only, grow up once, and you only get one shot at it, so I really wanted the time, and then in the future, also the financial freedom. And I quickly realised that when you're kind of, exchanging time for money as you do with any job, it's very difficult to get the leverage from finance as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. So the big question is that we want to ask yourself is, many of you are in network marketing and or coaching or whatever it may be, the importance of doing what you love. What is your time worth? What is your life worth? When, I ask myself, and Sam's the same, at what point in my life did I decide for somebody else to tell me how much I am worth or how much my time is worth? When did I didn't sign up for someone else to tell me how much I am worth each week, for somebody to tell me what to do, when to do it, how to do it, in a way that was convenient for them. I think, ask yourself, if your time is your most valuable possession, what is your life worth? What am I willing to exchange my time for? And I think that's so really important.
Yeah, it's true. And I just want to add to Luke's point quickly. And this is a bit of a quote or saying that I had right from the start that I understood, but it's difficult to understand when you start. And that's that employees are underpaid at the start of their career. Overpaid at the start of their career and underpaid for the rest of their life, right? So employees are overpaid at the start and underpaid for the rest of their lives, whereas entrepreneurs and network marketers are the total opposite, right? We're underpaid at the start for the number of hours we're doing. I mean, let's be real. If I worked out my hourly wage for the first 6 to 12 months that I was in business, it'd be pretty pitiful. In fact, it'd probably be illegal, right? But we're underpaid at the start, but we're heavily overpaid, at the end, right? And as we go forward, and that's one thing that's difficult to understand at the start. But when you start going through it, you start to realise that and understand the true worth and power of being an entrepreneur and being a network marketer in particular.
Yeah. I think you have to go through some time of putting in the hard work without seeing some results, right? You know, it can be a long time where you might think you're working your ass off, but you're not seeing the results yet. And I think that there comes a point where, you know, you just have to keep going and you have to have faith. And you have to have faith that it will work out. You know, some people say, make sure you've got something to fall back on. Make sure you've got something to fall back on. To me, I say, look, the only thing that I want to fall back on is my faith and belief that it will work. And so I think that's really, really important. All right, well, what I want to ask you, Sam, is how long have you been? Sam's in New Skin. Give us some love. Who's in New Skin on this call? I believe there's a few.
Come on, New Skinners. Come on.
New Skin, we're going to create the new you this call. So how long have you been in New Skin for? How long have you been in
question, Luke. All right, so look, I've been in New Skin for about the past 18 months to 2 years. I don't know the exact date, but it's around that period of time altogether. And look, I don't know what question Luke's going to fire at me next. We haven't, pre-done this interview or anything. I've got no idea what he's going to fire at me, but yeah, look, I've been in the business for about 18 months to 2 years. For the first kind of 12 months, I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. I got so much more self-development than I got in the rest of my career, but to be perfectly honest with you, the amount of money I was earning was far less than I thought I would be at the beginning, but I'm sure Luke's going to ask some further questions, so I'll stop there.
Okay, great. So for 2 years, I know some of you maybe have people in your teams where you might be like, okay, this person has been in my team 3 months, 6 months, or a year, or you've been doing it for 3 months, 6 months, a year, or 2 years. Sam now is about to hit the 2-year mark. Before he did my NLP prac course, how long have you been in it?
Well, it must have been 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah, 18 months.
Okay, 18 months. And if you want to tell them, Sam was in New Skin for 18 months, working his ass off, all right? Like this guy, look, he's a solid boy. Goes to the gym every day, works his ass off. Didn't see any results. So, what was the average kind of income that you were earning?
It was about $300, $350. That's Aussie dollars, basically.
Yeah, wow. So about average $350 Australian, which is probably about like £200, as the average income over 18 months. So how many people would stay the course over 18 months, as an average income of £200? Only someone who's as determined and as hungry as someone like Sam, and that's really important, is you got to be hungry. How hungry are you to reach the top? I always say to people that you get rewarded in public for what you practice in private. So if you're putting in the hours, behind closed doors, then, you're going to be stepping out into the light and you're going to be rewarded for that, The only thing that works is work. So Sam was working his ass off, but there's only one problem. It wasn't really working, what you were doing.
No, it wasn't. And no, it wasn't. I just want to answer Luke's point briefly, because part of the reason we're doing this call, or at least I am, and I know Luke is as well, is to offer value out there and to tell the truth and be transparent and honest about our business and our company, because it is the best business on the planet. It is number one. It is the best business. There is no business that compares with it. But we've really got to be, transparent and honest with people as to how this business really operates, right? And I guess, there is no such thing as overnight success. I don't care what anyone tells me. Overnight success does not exist, right? People that come into a network marketing business, that kick off their business and have a lot of success very quickly, have done one of two things, right? First of all, they've either had a number of years in a different network marketing company, so they've already built their skill set required and their knowledge to do so. And secondly, whatever they've done before network marketing, they've built a certain skill set and criteria and mindset that allows them to actually kick off and do things really quickly. So, if you don't have that at the start, it's fine. You've just got to have a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. And as long as you believe that, you can grow to become the person you need to be to succeed, then you'll do so, basically.
Yeah, well, how many people are willing to stay 18 months in a business, earning, working hours and hours? Like, how many hours a week would you say you were putting in?
I was putting in a large number of hours. I either do something fully or I just don't do it at all. I can't help it. It's actually a weakness as well as a strength, but it's true. Okay, that's the thing. All right, this is the distinction. You're either all in on your business or you're not in at all. Okay, it's really, really that simple. You have to be all in, and if you're not all in, then you're sabotaging yourself. You really got to, if you were going to swim, learn to swim, would you learn to swim by just putting your legs in the pool?
You don't learn to swim by put your legs in the pool. The only way to swim is to jump. And Sam, was swimming, I would say against the tide for some time. And I know many people have challenges and want to get to the next level. So, there's probably some people out there that have stayed at a similar level for some time, or they're not getting the growth that they want. So what are the challenges that you were having over, like, say, 18 months, would you say?
Well, look, I had a number of challenges, as you'd probably imagine. But without going through the details, the number one biggest challenge that I eventually realised, it took me about 18 months to realise, to be perfectly honest, after visiting, and doing Luke's course, was actually my own personal self-belief that I had what it took to actually go out there and succeed. Now, look, historically being the type of guy, this big butch masculine guy, I'm not the best in terms of vulnerability, right? But I guess it really did take me, Luke's NLP course, to realise that the thing that was really holding me back was my own self-belief that I could go out there and really do it. And it took me that course to realise that was it, basically. That was it. That was the only thing. It was nothing else. It was no skills. I had the skills. I've got the knowledge. It wasn't that. It was my own self-belief, ultimately.
All right, shit. So the guy had the skills, right? The guy had learned a lot on selling. The guy had learned, a bit on the strategy for his network marketing company. But what was the guy struggling with was his belief, and I can tell you now, the results that you're getting now are not what you want. You're getting the results that you believe are possible. Write this down. You do not get what you want in this life. You get what you believe. You do not get what you want in this life. You get what you believe. And I can tell you that some of you are fighting programmed limiting beliefs that you've learned from the environment. Some of you are fighting limiting thoughts and beliefs that you've taken on from whether your parents, your friends, your family, your environment, your school. And I believe that once you transform belief, that you can move mountains. It put man on the moon. It's belief that got light out of a light bulb for Thomas Edison. It's belief that got Oprah Winfrey her success. She believed it. It's belief that it's moved mountains. It is the difference. I've coached people to earn anywhere from $200 a month or $0 a month up until $40,000 Australian a month or £25,000 a month. In New Skin, I've seen coached the whole difference, and the key difference is belief. Many of you are waiting for results before you believe in yourself or before you believe that you can do it, and that's what's sabotaging you. It's absolute certainty that you need. Any other challenge that you were having? Anything else?
Well, as I said, the number one was my own self-belief, obviously. I guess the other challenge I was kind of having is even though I knew the correct strategy, I mean, ultimately, anyone in New Skin knows that there's a system, ultimately, right? And you follow a system, but I was then starting to challenge myself on whether that system was capable of I was asking all kinds of questions, basically, and it just comes down to belief. I don't actually want to give another challenge, because ultimately, that's the message I want to say is belief. All of the other challenges came from a lack of belief in what I was doing up until that point, right? So yes, there were other challenges, but they were just products of ultimately the lack of belief, right? So that's all I want to really get out there, basically.
Yeah, and the thing what the NLP course did for Sam is that it transformed his belief, and that's why after the NLP course the guy had a 5 times increase in his income within 4 months, and he had I'll get to what happened after, but let's talk about how we met, because I met Sam at a meetup. Some of you go to networking events, and I met Sam, I was at a meetup event, at a networking event. So tell us how that happened.
That's actually a pretty funny story, Luke, so thanks for questioning that, right? We've got Pineapple next to me, right?
Pineapple, I'm Pineapple.
So, and if anyone's watching this for the first time, right, you'll see that Luke is rather eccentric, right, which is excellent. Energy and everything else is everything, right? Everything is just a product of energy. But ultimately, when I first came across this guy, right, I thought, who on earth is this crazy, wacky, loopy guy, right, that's just come up to me, introduced himself, say, hey, I'm Luke. And that was it. It was a bit awkward, actually. We kind of had a 10-second silence before anyone else said anything. So that was kind of like how we met. It was a bit awkward, but it progressed from there.
Yeah, so I introduced myself to Sam, and that's the other secret to wealth, is number one is you have to be who you are, but number two is ask. you have to ask. It's only when you ask you will receive. You know, the money isn't going to come to you. You've got to claim it. You've got to go to it. You've got to be the hunter for success and be the hunter for excellence. Crazy Wacky Lukey went and said, "Hi Sam," and you know, it was all uphill from there, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, all right, so let's go there. So, obviously, I got Sam's business card. And what did I do? I gave Sam a call. Wow. So, you have to call people to get success. You have to reach out to people. And I'm telling you now, stop thinking about making calls and start making the calls. That's the difference. I called Sam, and I think he knew in advance that I was about to offer him something.
Yes, I did know in advance you were about to offer me something, and I was at the right time. And this is the key, right? For network marketers, I want you all to understand this. And I was at the right time. I call it 12 o'clock, right? So those of you who have listened to Nathan Ricks, there's a load of New Skin guys on here, you'll also know this saying. But I was at 12 o'clock. I was looking for something that could take my business to the next level. You know, I was on ground floor level, and I needed to get up to the mountain as quickly as I could. So, you know, I was open, I was listening, I was ready to take in whatever Luke had to say and see what he had to offer, basically. And it's exactly the same in network marketing in our business, right? We're looking for people who are at 12 o'clock, right? Which is essentially why, I mean, if you want me to cut the rubbish out of this, it's ultimately a numbers game, right? And that's not to say that, you know, the first 10 people you ask, if they say no right then, it's not no forever, it's just not right now because they're not at 12 o'clock, right? But if you're professional in your approach and you persist and you say, okay, cool, well, look, thanks very much for your time. Would you mind if I follow up with 6 months' time, tell you a bit of progress and see if you're at, you know, the right time? That'd be great. Then it'll work from there, basically. All
right. Well, far out. Well, persistence makes the difference. Write that down. 80% of sales happen after the fifth contact. 80% of sales. So how many times, like, because I ran a lead-in event for a whole bunch of people to come into a lead-in to have an intro to NLP event. I ran an intro to empowerment event. Tell me, how many times do you think we spoke on the phone, including the event that you came to? How many times?
I reckon it must have been between 6 and 12 times. It must have been, yeah, at least. It was between 6 and 12 times we had communication before I fully committed and said, okay, Luke, you got me, I'm in. I'm there. I'll be there. All
right. So 6 to 12 times with nothing. 6 to 12 times and nothing. I'm like, shit. How much, fuel do I have to put into this car? Like, put the fuel into the car. How much fuel do I have to put in? So obviously I was getting some objections, as we all get objections, and I believe objections are just questions that haven't been answered. So what were some of the objections that you had to doing in the NLP course?
Well, the most obvious first objection was money.
Oh, I don't have the money! That's the first time we've had that, and it's not the last time. I don't have the money. Yeah. Oh, wow. All right, that's the first. All right, there we go. He said I didn't have the money. Go on.
It's true. I did have the money, but I didn't have the money, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
The second question as well, and this is ultimately what the ultimate decision came down to, was whether I believed that Luke was a person that could actually take me to that next level. And look, this is actually massive in network marketing, especially if you're new to the business, right? And you know, when you sit down and you present to somebody, obviously the first things you want to do is our business model is designed to basically fulfill people's problems and issues, right? That's essentially what our business model is for. So before you even present to somebody, I like to sit down and remember the business is not about you, it's about who you're presenting to, it's about that particular individual, right? So until you've actually identified the issues that they're currently experiencing in their life and how our business can solve those issues, you don't know how to present in the first place. But going on to the point that I was going to say after that, which I can't even remember what it was. Yeah, it was trust, basically. So ultimately, the question that person opposite you is thinking is you know, it's not new skin. People don't really join New Skin, right? They join you as an individual. They join you, they join your philosophies, and they join your team and the strategies that you have in place to ensure that they're successful. And that's ultimately what people want to know when you know, considering to join the business. Is this person got what it takes to take me to the next level? And this correlates perfectly with what I was saying earlier with my belief, right? If you're not 100% committed, or you don't fully believe that you can do this yourself, then you're the person to commit and believe themselves either. So it comes down to belief as well, but ultimately trust in that individual.
All right, so the question was like with Sam, like, you know, the guy literally did have no money, right? The guy had no money. And it wasn't just him that I was having to do the battle against, his partner as well. A lovely lady, by the way, Jen, that actually wouldn't even let him sign up. His partner wouldn't let him sign up. I even had to speak as well with his partner, lovely lady Jen. She wouldn't let him. But I think the reason what Sam saw in me and the difference was he trusted me. And he trusted that I could be that person to take him to the next level in his life. He trusted me to be able to help him to achieve his goals. That's the difference. And the elements of trust really, I believe, come down to this. Like, are you competent? So, can you do what you're saying that you can do? Like, he believed that I could do what I said that he could do. I said, Sam, we can 5 times your income. And he believed that. The second thing, was I reliable? He believed that I was reliable, that I would be there for him. How many calls have we had? I've been in this man's corner ever since.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Totally true.
I've been in his corner ever since, and it's really that, it's like a boxer. The coach can see things that you can't see. The coach is telling you where you're punching that's not working. The coach is telling you what is working. The coach is telling you, like, why are you doing left hooks when you can do a knockout? Why do jabs when you can do an uppercut? I could see things that the other person cannot see. He believed that I was reliable. I was competent, and I was sincere, and I just had a level of caring that was nothing more important to me than him getting his result. Because this guy went into big debt to come to this course. He didn't go into massive debt. Yeah. He had a wedding coming up. He couldn't afford to go to his wedding. His own wedding he couldn't pay for.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I just want to add to Luke's point there are 5 different things as well, and Luke is dead right with trust, but there are 5 different attributes you really need to have in a network marketing business to become successful, right? There are 5 in my opinion, right? And the first one is commitment. We've already mentioned that to begin with. You need to be fully committed, 110%. And the analogy I like to use, and once again, if you've listened to a bit of Nathan Ricks and you're into self-development, you might have listened to this before, but the analogy I like to use is bacon and eggs for breakfast, right? Bacon and eggs for breakfast, okay? Are you the chicken or are you the pig, right? Because with bacon and eggs for breakfast, the pig is fully committed, yet the chicken is only half in, right? So if you're the chicken in this instance, and you need to be accountable for your own actions and think about this and self-reflect, if you're the chicken, you need to very quickly become the pig, right? You need to fully commit. That's the first attribute. The second one is honesty, right? Honesty. I can't stand... Part of the issue with our business, right, is that people can't stay honest for a period of time, but another word for our business is relationship marketing. Right? Building relationships, and relationships are built on honesty. You don't have to lie about your income. You don't have to lie about where you're on the compensation plan. You just tell people exactly where you are and where you're going. The train has left the station. If they want to join, great. If they don't, that's okay. You'll follow up with them in 6 months' time. That's cool. And, if you're doing your social media stuff in the right way as well, they get attracted anyway. The third attribute is accountability. Right? You need to be accountable for your own actions and your teams as well. The fourth is integrity. And what I mean by that in this context is actually... doing the right things all the time, regardless of whether somebody is watching or not. And the fifth one is being a finisher, right? Is to finish the thing that you started in the first place. That's it, basically.
Yep. All right. Okay. So finish what you started. Like, if you started this business, you don't stop until you get to the top. You do not stop until you get to the top. You start something, you finish it. You start a race, you finish the race, and you be honest with yourself. And I want to talk about with Sam that it was, as men, I think men can learn a lot from the environment, that it's not okay to feel your emotions, or it's not okay to express your truth, or it's not okay to feel, or it's not okay to cry. And I can tell you that Sam was carrying around a massive bags on his shoulders of emotions and things he was holding on to. You said you hadn't actually, and this is going to help a lot of people, you hadn't cried for how long?
Oh, I don't cry.
You don't cry. He was he had the bullet, he hadn't cried for years. And come along to a course, and the wall, the same wall that was protecting him was the same wall that was preventing him. that's the difference, and he, he let it out. You want to talk about your experience about what made the shift for you?
Yeah, well, look, there's somebody on the call actually that helped me do this, and that's Len. So, while you're on the call, Len, I want to thank you personally because it was you that helped me do this. So, and that's another favourite saying of mine. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? So, thanks, Len. But yeah, look, as Luke correctly stated, I went onto the course. I didn't really know 110% what to expect, but having gone on it, I eventually learned to let a few emotions go and actually you know what, to be perfectly honest with you, what happened was that I wanted to show Len that she had the capability of helping me as well, right? And that's what ultimately did it. Yeah, thanks, Len. You are the bomb too. So it was my want to show Len that she was capable as well to help me break through and have my breakthrough that eventually allowed me to actually break through and shed some emotion, right? So yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was strange, but it was amazing.
Yeah. So whatever you're holding on to, you've got to let it go. Whatever you're holding on to is holding you back. And I know that was the same for me. I've been in this place where I was, had so much negative emotion. I was crying my eyes out, wanting help. I reached out for help, and like Sam reached out for help. And he was honest with me, and he was vulnerable. And a lot of you got to get the message that you're here to serve. It's about your service. And the only way to serve is to actually be vulnerable and be real and be honest with yourself. It's been said, if you're not naked, you're asleep, and your nakedness is you being vulnerable. And your vulnerability is your power. As he's learnt. So, since then, what has been the biggest lesson that you've got, the biggest shift that you've got, that has created your success?
Just the fact that I already know that I'm going to be successful in the business, basically, and that I'm going to go to the top of the compensation plan, and that I've visualised it, that I can literally, as I'm visualising that, feel emotion, connect the two, and I just know, basically, it's already happened, right? And once you know that it's already happened, you can then go and enjoy the journey. It's as simple as that. So instead of everything becoming, an issue and a chore and motivating yourself to do that kind of thing, it just changes the whole perspective of the business. And once people can see that you're enjoying yourself as well, because ultimately that's part of the business. You've got to enjoy yourself. That's it. And look, I don't know about people on this call, but I'm a massive, not advocate. You've got to be an advocate. But I love self-development, right? And look, network marketing is basically self-development with a paycheck. That's another word for it. So there's relationship marketing, but it's basically self-development with a paycheck, right? And reading books is one thing, which is phenomenal. You've got to be reading. You've got to be listening to the right kind of materials as well. But you can't beat being in an environment that's conducive to hitting your goals with a number of people that are all doing the same thing, with a guy as crazy as this, shouting at you at the front of the room, giving you inspiration, right? And that 5 days of self-development was incredible. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, you can learn about swimming by reading, or you could go swimming. And Sam, did it. He jumped in the pool. In 5 days, I'm not just teaching conscious content. I'm installing the beliefs. I'm installing the values. I'm installing the certainty in you. I'm installing the $1 million mindset for success. And that's what Sam took away, but you have to be willing to help yourself. And Sam, this is the key, right? So Sam was honest, he was vulnerable, and he said to me, Luke, whatever you tell me to do that works, I will do. And he was willing to implement, to take action. So that's the difference, he knew that once he cleared out what was holding him back, and once he transformed his belief, he was willing to act on what he learned.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's totally true. It's 100%. And that's a key. Ultimately, everything starts. You may have heard this before, but everything starts with your thoughts, right? And until you start getting the right thoughts into your head, which may well start with the NLP practice for some of you already have good thoughts, but not on a regular basis. But thoughts eventually start to translate into words. So if you think something enough, you start to speak it. Words eventually start to become actions. Actions performed on a regular basis start to become habits, right? And habits are either they're either the worst of slaves, or they're the worst of masters, or the best of slaves, right? So if you pick up negative habits, it'll destroy you. Smoking is a great example. If you pick up positive habits, then your job becomes far more easier, that are conducive to hitting your goals. And habits over time create your destiny ultimately. So Yeah, it's true.
All right, okay. So nothing in life changes until you change your habits. Nothing in life will change until you change what you consistently do. Sam is up at 5:30 in the morning. He's training his body. He's training his mind. He's applying what we learnt, what I taught at the NLP course. He's going out and he's implementing the changes. And I think you have to stop being okay with being okay. And that's the difference. You have to stop being okay with being okay. You have to stop being okay with playing small.
You know, you're actually doing, I just want to add to Luke's point, because I realised this a little while ago, right? You're actually doing people an injustice by playing small and doing the average thing. You really are, because you can't possibly fulfill your full potential if you're working for somebody else, right? You can't, it's impossible, right? And there are so many people out there waiting for what you have to offer that you are doing people an injustice, right? By not getting out there and really living to be your full potential. You are. You really are.
Like, do you understand? Like, I've worked with people that were suicidal that I don't even know if they would be here if I didn't act on my dreams. If I didn't make one call, if I didn't make one decision to invest in my mind, in NLP Prac and all the rest, right? I wouldn't even be on this call. I wouldn't know any of you. I wouldn't know Sam. By you acting on your dreams, you are potentially changing somebody else's life forever.
Especially in our industry.
Like, there's 85% of people that are going to a job that they don't want to go to, that are unhappy. And one of the biggest causes of 60% of people, 70% of people, marriages end up in divorce. And one of the biggest reasons is because of money, challenges in money. And why is the challenge in money happening? Because they're in a system job and they're being told what they're worth, and there's a limit on what they can earn. And it's creating struggle, it's creating pain. The person that you don't call is the very person that you could be freeing forever, I think that's it. You got to stop delaying. You got to stop wasting time. Like, so many of you, so many people, they sit in the grandstand of their own life. They're firing themselves from their own life. They're sitting in the grandstand. They're watching other people play big game while you watch them have the fun, you watch them kick the goals. You got to get out of the grandstand, you got to stop playing small, and you got to start playing big. You really got to start doing that. NLP has been the ticket. I am 100% certain that NLP is the ticket to play a bigger game. You can all be number one in your business. You can all be team elite. You can all be the biggest force in the world in network marketing. But I can tell you, what is limiting your success is the investments that you make in yourself. The investments you make in yourself is limiting your success. I'm going to keep going, but I just want to say this bit that, your investments that you make in yourself is limiting your success. It's limiting your happiness. It's limiting your growth. It's limiting the contribution that you can make to other people's lives. If you're constantly making yourself better, if you're constantly improving yourself, there's no limit to what you can do. The more that you become, the more value you can add to other people's lives. You're being paid in direct proportion to the value you add to other people's lives. You add more value to you, you add more skills to you, you become the greatest version of you. There is no limit to what you can do. You are an infinite being, and NLP is about the ticket to your own unlimitedness. All right, something like that.
Well, there you go.
Something like that. Sam, tell people, what would you say to people if their objection was that I don't have the money?
Well, my objection to that would be, I know exactly how you feel. I felt exactly the same way when I was in that particular scenario. But what I found is that the real risk is not paying the money to... The real risk is by not paying the money to go on Luke's course, right? So, you're following a particular route, and if you don't do something to divert you onto a different route from which you aspire to get down to, then that's how you have to think, right? Is not... And it's the same when people join our business, right? Luke's course, our business, same thing, right? The question is not how much is it costing me to do this, it's what it's costing me not to do this. That's what you have to ask yourself, right? What is the real cost of not doing this? That's the cost.
All right, okay, yeah, because you can only... What you know is what you're doing now. So either people don't know what to do or they can't get themselves to do what they know. And NLP is the ticket to actually changing that with me. And that's the difference, right? It's more expensive to you not to do this. Like, how much does it cost people already, or cost you already? You know, up until now, for not having what you want or not creating the results you want. How expensive has it been up until now? And what will it cost you by not doing this? What is the cost of not creating the results that you want? How expensive? How much is it going to cost you long term? You know, you can't put a price. You're being paid as a result of who you become. And the difference between poor people and rich people is this, right? Successful people, they see something they want, and if they can't afford it, they say, I am doing that, and I will find out how to do it later. They say, I'm in, and they find out how to do it later. All right? So you make the decision, the universe will support you because you've made a decision. You know, that's the difference. You know, if you want to take the island, you've got to burn the boats.
So true.
You know, many of you are giving yourself a way out. Like, stop giving yourself a way out to your success. You're saying, oh, if it works, or I'll see if it works, or I'll put a little bit of this down, and then if it doesn't work, who cares? You don't create success that way. You do not create success. I slept in the back of my car to do these courses. I ate raw vegetables to do these courses. My mum said I was crazy. My mum said it was crazy. His partner said, no, you're not doing it. You must believe that by doing this, that it will get you to where you want you to be. It will get you to where you want if you decide to do what it takes and you just trust yourself. You trust the other person. You have to trust me, obviously, but you can have what you want. Like, yeah. It's really that. So, you know, I just want to, we're going to start to wrap this up. Is there any final tips? You know, Sam has walked out the back end of the course. He's 5 times his income in 4 months. I know for me, I spent $16,000 to go to Las Vegas, which was every cent that I had. I've coached, you know, thousands of people in network marketing, and almost hit 1,000 in new skin alone, from people earning from $0 up until $40,000 Australian a month. So obviously, I know what's happening to get to the top, and I know the changes that have to be made. For me, I was coaching 20 to 25 people a week in new skin. 20 to 25 people in new skin a week. I was waking up at 4 a.m. and staying up till midnight coaching people in the UK, in America, and Australia. And I was using all the tools on NLP to do it. A lot of successful people now that are at the top, you know, and you know, many people that have had great growth and success. And I spent every cent I had on going to Las Vegas, $16,000. I had enough for the ticket, but I had no idea how I was going to eat there, and I had no idea how I was going to pay for accommodation because I had $0. And you know what happened? I signed up 2 people to a breakthrough session at $2,500. I made $5,000 because I made a decision and I was forced to create the result. That's the difference. I was forced to do it. I made $5,000, so I had enough to eat. You know, in me, my business alone made $13,500 last week. I charge now $1,000 an hour for my time because you're not paying, you ask yourself, what's more important, my time or my money? If I can give people the lessons of $40,000 a month, if you can get those lessons now, then why wait?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
That's just me. All right. So the key to success: keep educating yourself. You got to keep educating yourself. That's really the difference. Decide. Don't quit. Never ever quit. Just decide you're not going to stop until you get to the top. You are not going to stop until you get to the top. Yeah. It ain't over until I win.
This is true. And I'm just going to add to one more thing as to Luke said. I mean, look, if you're still not persuaded by what Luke has just told you, then yeah. But look, if you're really still on the edge and you're not sure about this and you're not sure about taking the jump and jumping in the deep end, as Luke would say, then I'm just going to say this one thing, right? We're conditioned from the age of, as soon as we start going to school, right, to think in a certain way, right? We study things that are designed to go and get us a good job, right? And that's the truth. We study subjects that are designed to go and give us a good job. That's it, right? We don't study Wealth Management 1 and Wealth Management 2, unfortunately, okay? So you're conditioned from a very early age to think about a certain way of living, right? And when somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I've got a better way of doing this, I've got a way of instead of working for 40 years and end up with not a lot, we can condense that into 3 to 4 years or 3 to 5 years by doing X, Y, and Z. And you'll have had people who have said, well, this just looks too good to be true. And that's why they come up with that comment, right? People just do the best with the resources they've been given, right, Luke?
Yes.
And, that response there is just a form of conditioning. And if people call you crazy, they're calling you crazy because they're the ones that have been conditioned in the wrong manner, right? We're not the crazy ones. We're the ones that have seen the light and have realized that there is a better way of living. So, don't be undermined or whatever it is by somebody that thinks you're a bit nuts or you're crazy or you're doing something. Don't let that affect you. Just say, okay, that's cool. Well, no problem. Thanks for your time. Just keep track of what I'm doing. Once again, if it's okay to contact you in future, that's cool. And I guarantee when they see your success, they see you changing your life, then they'll change their mind about who the crazy one really is, right?
Yeah, that's so great. You want to know what's right for you? Listen to your own inner voice. The only person that will know what's right for you in your life is listening to your own inner voice. Listen to that. It's constantly guiding you. You could have people telling you, no, you're crazy, don't do it, you can't do it, you shouldn't do it, you can't. You can have all those people, but the only opinion that matters is your own opinion. That is the only opinion that counts. And like Sam says, we were programmed for just enough. You were programmed for just enough from school. You were programmed to go out and get a job, to get an okay or a good relationship, to get good health, to get a good income. And you know what? Good is the enemy of great. All right? Good is the enemy of great. Good is the enemy of your own greatness. You were born to be great. You were born to stand out, not to fit in. You were born not to fit in. You were born to stand out. And leaders do not fit in culture. Leaders create culture. If you look at this, most people in life are not happy. Most people in life do not have the health. Most people in life do not have the wealth. They don't have the ultimate quality of relationship. And if you want to have the ultimate quality of life, you've got to know what the best on the planet do. And when you know what the best on the planet know, you become and create the life that the best on the planet create. And that's what NLP is, the science of the best on the planet. How do I install that in you? How do we take out the bullshit limitations and install the truth of your own unlimitedness? This is happening right here and right now. I say don't delay. I say if you're serious about going to the top, I traveled to Las Vegas. I spent every cent that I had, $16,000, to create what I'm creating now. I'm creating the new wave of network marketing elite. I'm starting with results and I'm finishing with the best on the planet. That's what will be happening. If you're serious now about going to the top, before this whole thing sells out. It will sell out. It's 50 warriors in a room. It's 43 right now. Sam's going to be there. It's going to be the best of the best that is committed to the top. I've got, Natalie is coming. Megan is coming. I believe Chrissy's going to be there. There's Andy that's on the call is going to be there. Emmy is going to be there. You're going to see the results, and I'm going to say, you watch us fly. We are flying, and I want to say thank you so much. So if you are serious and committed to that, then inbox me. I will organize a call from you, but only inbox me if you're serious. If you're not, then don't worry about it. But if you're serious, you're saying, Luke, I want to be the best, or I want to create the income, a life on my terms, then write to me. All right, then write to me. We want to say a big thank you to everybody who's joined. Share this stream. I'm asking you from my heart. This could be the stream that changes someone's life. I've had people that I've worked with. I work with thousands. People that were suicidal, people that are depressed, to get rid of anxiety, to get rid of phobias, to help people to get the body they want. I've helped people to create the financial freedom they want. I can tell you that this video could save somebody. It's not about me. You are here to serve. We are all here to serve. The greatest power is what is inside of you. And what is the truth of what is inside of you is love. So let love guide you. It is your birthright, it's your birth source, it's your birth cause, and let's share the love and let's help one another. We're both in the industry.
Absolutely, yeah, completely agree.
we're in the industry of helping one another. So I want to say thank you to everybody. It means the world to me that you guys have joined. Sam's been a massive success and he's going to continue all the way now, which I'm so grateful to be part of his journey, and I'm looking forward to serving more people. Because I'm so passionate about network marketing. I believe it is the ticket to the unlimited life, and my commitment is for that. All right, well, what do we say? We say
excellent.
From the thunder from down under, and the man in your corner, I say, Luke, I love you all, and I care for you a lot, and I really thank you for joining the call. Share the stream, reach out to me, write to me if you want to go to the top in your business, or if you're looking for help. Live with passion, take risks, get out of your comfort zone, do what you've never done before, make could create a completely different life. Love you all. Rock the house.
Cheers, guys.
Say yes. Say yes.
Thanks
Say
for your
yes.
time.
Say yes to you. Say yes to your life. Say yes to your dream. Let's say yes to changing the world together. Take care, and remember always that greatness is you. Bye.